The silence of deep space stretched endlessly across the patrol route. Commander Talrus adjusted the display panel before him while his clawed fingers tapped rhythmically against the console. 3 cycles of routine scanning operations had yielded nothing but empty void and distant stars. His reptilian features remained impassive as another hour passed without incident. The armada of 47 warships maintained perfect formation across the sector boundary. "Commander, I have something unusual." Rila's chitinous form leaned closer to her sensor station. The insectoid technician's compound eyes reflected the flickering data streams. Energy signature detected at Mark 732. Talrus moved to her station with practiced efficiency. Classification. Unknown. Rila's antennae twitched with confusion. The pattern doesn't match any vessel in our database. Energy output is erratic, almost primitive fusion technology. The communications officer Boran raised his webbed hand. "Should I attempt standard hailing protocols?" "Proceed," Talrus ordered while studying the readings. Something felt wrong about this situation. Years of military experience had taught him to trust his instincts. The hailing frequencies remained silent. No response came from the mysterious vessel. Talrus watched as the energy signature fluctuated wildly on the display. Whatever ship generated this reading was either damaged or operating far beyond its design parameters. "All ships to Battle Group Formation Alpha," Talrus commanded into the fleet channel. "Unknown contact bearing 270, maintain cautious approach distance." The senior staff assembled within minutes. Representatives from a dozen species crowded around the tactical display. Everyone stared at the anomaly with varying degrees of concern. Database searches continued to return negative results. No known civilization used this type of propulsion system. "Could it be a derelict?" suggested the tactical officer. "The power fluctuations indicate major system failures." "Long-range imaging coming through now." Rila manipulated her controls. The main view screen flickered to life. A collective gasp rippled through the assembled officers. The vessel appeared battered beyond recognition. Hull breaches scarred the outer plating like wounds from a vicious battle. Strange markings covered sections of the ship's surface in an unknown language. The design. Philosophy seemed crude and utilitarian compared to sleek galactic standard vessels. No visible weapon systems showed active status. "Magnify Section 4. Talrus pointed at peculiar symbols near what appeared to be an airlock. The image zoomed closer. The writing system used straight lines and curves in patterns that suggested mathematical precision. "I'm detecting an automated signal," Rilo announced suddenly. "It just activated, appears to be a distress beacon." "Can you translate it?" Boran moved to assist her. "The format is completely unknown." Rila's mandibles clicked together nervously. "There are mathematical patterns embedded within the transmission. Wait, there's a secondary encrypted layer beneath the primary broadcast." Talrus felt tension building in his chest. "Keep working on it. I want to know what that message says." "Commander, I recommend we send a reconnaissance probe." The tactical officer gestured at the display. "Standard protocol for unknown vessels." "Agreed," Talrus nodded. "Launch Probe 7, passive scans only. I don't want to appear threatening." The probe detached from the nearest frigate and accelerated toward the mysterious ship. Everyone watched the telemetry feed in silence. Distance closed steadily as the probe approached scanning range. Talrus noticed his claws digging into the armrest of his command chair. Without warning, the unknown vessel erupted with activity. Emergency systems that had appeared dormant suddenly came online. Defensive countermeasures activated with startling speed. An electromagnetic pulse radiated outward in all directions. "Probe is disabled," Rila reported as her screens went dark. "Total systems failure from the pulse." Chaos erupted across the fleet channels. Multiple ships raised shields simultaneously, while weapons systems powered up automatically. Talrus heard conflicting orders being shouted by various commanders. The careful discipline of the Armada began fracturing under sudden perceived threat. All ships hold fire, Talrus transmitted with maximum authority. I repeat, hold your fire. That was a defensive response, not an attack. Commander, the unknown vessel is transmitting again. Boron's amphibious features showed distress. New signal includes visual data fragments. Put it on screen, Talrus ordered. The view screen displayed broken images that flickered and distorted. A bipedal species appeared in the transmissions. Hairless faces with forward-facing eyes showed expressions of desperation. The beings wore fitted suits and appeared to be operating damaged equipment. One image clearly showed what looked like families huddled together. Life support readings are critical. Rila's voice held genuine concern. The vessel is venting atmosphere from multiple hull breaches. Biological readings detect faint life signs aboard, possibly 3 or 4 individuals. Talrus made his decision in an instant. Stand down all weapons. Medical frigate advance to rescue position. Prepare boarding teams immediately. Sir, we don't know what species this is, the tactical officer protested. They could be dangerous. They're dying, Talrus replied firmly, and their last act was to defend themselves against what they perceived as a threat. That tells me they want to survive. He turned to face his senior staff. We're going to give them that chance. The medical frigate moved forward while the rest of the Armada maintained defensive perimeter. Talrus watched the unknown vessel continue its slow deterioration. Time was running out for whoever remained aboard that battered ship. He had just committed his forces to save a species no one in the galaxy had ever encountered before. The distress signal continued its mathematical patterns. Somewhere in those equations was a message from beings who had traveled impossibly far only to die in the darkness between stars. Talrus refused to let that happen, not while he had ships and crew capable of making a difference. How long until the boarding team is ready? He asked quietly. 10 minutes, Commander, Boron replied. Talrus hoped it would be enough time. Chief Medical Officer Nessa's crystalline body refracted the harsh lighting of the medical frigate's preparation bay. Her team assembled with practiced efficiency, while environmental suits were distributed among the boarding party. Representatives from 4 different species checked their equipment one final time before the mission began. Security personnel carried only light weapons. Appearing threatening would defeat the entire purpose of this rescue. Remember, we have no data on this species' biology. Nessa's voice resonated through the chamber. Prepare for any environmental conditions. Our priority is extraction and stabilization. Rila volunteered to join the boarding team despite her primary role as censor. Specialist, I need to access their computer systems, she explained while sealing her suit. Understanding their technology might help us communicate. The medical frigate closed distance with agonizing slowness. Through the viewports, the damaged vessel grew larger. Hull breaches gaped like open wounds across the ship's surface. Radiation levels climbed steadily on everyone's monitors. The reactor core was approaching critical failure. They had perhaps 1 hour before catastrophic detonation. Airlock located, the pilot announced. Approaching docking position now. The boarding team gathered at the airlock while final pressure checks completed. Boron studied the control panel on the unknown vessel's exterior. The mechanism appears functional. His webbed fingers trace the colored symbols. Basic logic suggests this activates the door. This provides manual override. Metal groaned as the ancient airlock mechanism engaged. The door slid open to reveal darkness beyond. Emergency lighting cast everything in shades of crimson. The team activated their suit lights and pushed forward into the unknown. Corridors stretched ahead in cramped dimensions. Most galactic vessels provided generous space for movement. This ship seemed designed for smaller beings who valued efficiency over comfort. Personal items floated in zero gravity. Photographs and small objects that spoke of individual lives aboard this vessel. Signs of violent decompression in sections 3 through 7, a security officer reported. Multiple crew stations show evidence of emergency evacuation procedures. Nessa paused at one floating photograph. It showed three bipedal beings with varying features, two adults and one smaller individual. All displayed expressions that suggested affection. "They keep images of family members," she observed quietly. "Emotional bonding appears significant to this species." The team navigated through the damaged sections while their suits protected them from vacuum and radiation. Written language covered walls and equipment. Mathematical symbols mixed with complex character systems. Rila recorded everything for later analysis. Life signs detected. Her sensors pulsed with confirmation. Central compartment, bearing straight ahead, sealed emergency shelter maintaining pressure. They reached a reinforced door marked with bright warning colors. The locking mechanism appeared intact. Boron worked carefully to override the controls without damaging the seal. "Almost there," he muttered while manipulating the ancient technology. The door hissed open. Beyond it, three beings lay motionless in survival pods. The bipedal creatures had smooth skin in varying shades. Their faces held features both alien and somehow familiar. Two appeared unconscious while the third stirred weakly. "Scanning now." Nessa activated her medical equipment. "Carbon-based biology, oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere requirements, severe radiation exposure detected. They're dying." The conscious being's eyes opened. Forward-facing pupils dilated with fear when they saw the alien boarding team. The being tried to speak, but no sound emerged through the damaged life support. Hands moved in gestures that could have been defensive or pleading. Nessa approached slowly with empty hands visible. She gestured at her medical equipment and then at the dying being. Universal body language for offering help. The being watched carefully before nodding weakly. "Rila, can you access their computer systems?" Nessa asked while beginning her examination. "Working on it." Rila connected portable equipment to a nearby terminal. Data streams flooded across her display. Translation matrix attempting to decode. Ship designation is Pioneer's Hope. This was a colony vessel, mission to establish settlement on distant world. The conscious being managed to activate a damaged translator device. The words emerged broken and fragmentary. "Help, others, please." "We're trying," Nessa assured the being while her instruments analyzed the alien biology. "Your friends will receive treatment." More data scrolled across Rila's equipment. "They call themselves humans, home world designated Earth. This ship departed 3 cycles ago. Ship's logs indicate they were attacked. Unknown raiders destroyed most systems. Crew of 37 reduced to these 3 survivors." The human tried to sit up despite obvious weakness. Trembling fingers pointed toward the ship's data core. "Must save records mission our people." "We'll preserve everything," Rila promised. "But we need to evacuate you first. This ship is going to explode." The humans shook their heads stubbornly. "Data first, our children, families, they must know what happened." Nessa understood immediately. This being would rather die than let their people's story be lost. "Rila, how long to download there?" "Database. 5 minutes if I work fast." "Do it," Nessa made her decision. "We're not leaving anyone behind, not the living and not their memories." The team split operations. Rila worked frantically at the data core while medical personnel prepared the 3 humans for transport. The conscious human watched with obvious relief as files transferred to portable storage. When Rila finished, the human finally allowed themselves to be placed on a medical stretcher. The evacuation proceeded with urgent efficiency. They reached the medical frigate with minutes to spare. The unknown vessel's reactor indicators showed imminent failure. As soon as the boarding team cleared the airlock, the frigate accelerated away from the dying ship. "Safe distance achieved," the pilot reported with relief. Behind them, the human vessel's reactor finally breached containment. The explosion lit up the darkness like a brief star before fading. Nessa watched the destruction while her team worked to stabilize the 3 survivors. These humans had traveled impossibly far only to be attacked by pirates. Now only 3 remained to tell their story. "Commander Talris," Nessa transmitted to the Armada. We have the survivors, but you need to see what we found in their ship's logs. The attack on these humans was deliberate. The raiders are still operating in this sector. Before Talrus could respond, long-range sensors detected new contacts. Multiple ships emerging from behind a distant asteroid field. The energy signatures matched weapon systems described in the human ship's combat records. The pirates were returning to claim their prize. 12 vessels materialized from hyperspace with the confidence of predators returning to a kill. Their leader, Crawl, commanded from a scarred flagship that bore the marks of countless raids. The predatory, Scaran-scaled features twisted into what might have been a smile when his sensors detected the assembled armada. "Well, this is unexpected," Crawl broadcasted on open channels. His gravelly voice carried amusement rather than concern. "Military vessels protecting salvage. How noble! Retreat now and we'll forget this interference." Talrus stood firm on his command deck. "This is no salvage. We have survivors from the vessel you attacked. You're in violation of 17 galactic treaties. Surrender immediately." The pirate leader's laughter echoed across the channel. "Survivors? Impossible, we made sure that colony ship was completely disabled. No one could have lasted this long." His tone shifted to menace. "Leave now or we'll add your ships to our collection." Rila worked quickly at her station. The human ship's logs had provided detailed information about the pirate attack patterns. "Commander, their formation has a weakness. The flagship relies on the outer ships for shield reinforcement if we can separate them." "Tactical," Talrus called out. "Prepare firing solutions, target engines only. I want them captured for trial, not destroyed." In the medical bay, Nessa struggled to stabilize the 3 human survivors. Their biology proved more complex than initial scans suggested. The conscious human named Bait remained alert despite terrible injuries. Her translator device allowed broken communication. "Let me speak to your commander," Bait insisted weakly. "I need to tell him about the pirates, about what they did to my crew." Against medical advice, Nessa allowed the connection. Bait's face appeared on Talrus's command screen. The human's features showed exhaustion and grief, but also fierce determination. "Commander, those raiders attacked us without warning. We were a civilian colony ship, families and children." Her voice broke. "They used a false distress signal to lure us into range. Then they opened fire on unarmed civilians." Talrus felt cold fury settle in his chest. "How many were aboard your vessel?" 37 souls, Bait replied. "Teachers, engineers, farmers, my best friend and her daughter." Tears streamed down her face. "We tried to fight back with mining equipment and cargo loaders, anything we could use as weapons, but we had no training, no real defenses." The image of civilians improvising weapons against military raiders struck everyone listening. These humans had fought to protect their families, even knowing they had no chance of victory. Such courage deserved justice. "Bait, I promise you those pirates will face tribunal for their crimes," Talrus vowed solemnly. "Make them pay," Bait whispered before Nessa cut the connection for medical reasons. Talrus addressed his fleet. "All ships prepare for engagement. We're taking these raiders alive. They will answer for what they've done." Crawl apparently decided the Armada was bluffing. "Attack formation," he commanded his vessels. "Disable their command ships, take what you want from the rest." The pirate fleet surged forward. Talrus waited until they committed fully before springing his trap. "Rila, trigger the beacon now." The human ship's final message had been more than a distress call. Rila had modified it into a remote detonation signal. The wreckage of Pioneer's Hope erupted in a carefully controlled explosion. Electromagnetic pulse radiated outward, catching the nearest pirate vessels in its field. "Pirate ships 1 through 4 are dead in space," Tactical reported with satisfaction. "Their shields collapsed." "All vessels engage," Talrus ordered. "Remember, engines and weapons only." The Armada moved with precision that came from years of training. Energy beams lanced through space, targeting specific systems on each pirate vessel. The raiders tried to return fire, but their formation had been shattered. Individual ships found themselves facing multiple military opponents. Krall's flagship attempted to break away. Retreat! All ships fall back to hyperspace jump coordinates. Their jump drive is damaged from the pulse, Relo announced. They can't escape. Talrus opened a channel directly to the pirate leader. Surrender, Krall. You're surrounded and disabled. Further resistance will only result in the destruction of your ships. The Scaran snarled, but his situation was hopeless. One by one, his vessels powered down their weapons and shields. The Armada surrounded each disabled raider while boarding teams prepared to secure them. I demand treatment under galactic law, Krall transmitted grudgingly. You'll receive exactly what the law provides, Talrus assured him coldly, including prosecution for your crimes. Boarding teams swept through the captured vessels. What they found in the cargo holds shocked even veterans. Stolen goods from dozens of raids filled the compartments. Personal belongings from multiple species spoke of systematic predation. Evidence of destroyed ships and murdered crews painted a picture of pirates who had terrorized this sector for years. Among the stolen items, the teams recovered belongings from Pioneer's Hope, children's toys and family photographs that had belonged to the murdered colonists. When Bate learned about the recovery, she insisted on seeing the items despite her critical condition. Nessa brought a small box to the medical bay. Inside were photographs and personal effects. Bate's hands trembled as she lifted each item. This belonged to Casey, she was 7 years old. Bate held a worn, stuffed animal. She wanted to be a doctor. Her mother was our chief engineer. The medical staff watched in silence as Bate identified item after item. Each object represented a life lost. A dream ended. The raw emotion of human grief affected everyone present. These beings formed bonds so deep that loss could shatter them. Your people will know their names, Talrus promised when he visited the medical bay. The entire galaxy will know what happened here. Those pirates will face justice for every life they took. Bate managed a weak smile. Thank you, but there's something else. She looked at him seriously. You need to warn Earth, my home world. If these pirates were targeting human colony ships, then more of my people are in danger. Someone has to tell Earth what's out here. Talrus realized the full implications. Making contact with a previously unknown civilization would require approval from the Galactic Council. But leaving Earth ignorant of the threat seemed unconscionable. The decision weighed heavily on him. I'll send the message, he decided. Your people deserve to know the truth. The Galactic Council chamber materialized through quantum link projections. Representatives from 12 major civilizations appeared as holographic forms arranged in a circular assembly. Council Arbiter Drell's avian features showed concern as Talrus presented his case for immediate contact with Earth. You're asking us to violate centuries of first contact protocol. Drell's wings rustled with agitation. Premature exposure to galactic civilization has destroyed developing species. We have laws for good reasons. With respect, Arbiter, the humans are already at risk. Talrus displayed the evidence from Pioneer's Hope. Pirates are actively targeting their colony vessels. How many more ships will be destroyed while we debate protocol? A council member from the aquatic Drell species spoke up. The humans lack faster-than-light capability. They're barely beyond their own solar system. Such primitive technology suggests they're not ready for contact. Nessa's holographic form joined the discussion. I must disagree. My medical analysis shows humans possess remarkable adaptability. Their immune systems respond to unknown pathogens faster than any species I've studied. Mentally, they demonstrate exceptional resilience despite physical fragility. Physical fragility, another. Counselor seized on the words. Then they would be defenseless in galactic conflicts. We would be setting them up for exploitation. Talrus played the recording of Bates' testimony. The council watched in silence as the human described her crew's final stand. Civilians with no military training had fought raiders using improvised weapons. They died protecting their families rather than surrendering. This is the courage of desperation, Drell observed quietly, not strategic thinking. It's the courage that makes allies worth having, Talrus countered. These humans traveled years through dangerous space to build a new home. They faced death defending people they loved. That speaks to character that transcends technological advancement. Bate had recovered enough to address the council herself. Her holographic form flickered as the medical bay's transmitter struggled with the quantum link. Honorable council members, she began in halting but clear language. I'm Bate, survivor of the colony ship Pioneer's Hope. I'm here to tell you that humanity deserves a choice. You speak our language well for someone who just learned it exists, Drell noted with interest. I've had good teachers, Bate glanced at Talrus. And I'm motivated. You're debating whether my people are ready to learn the truth about the galaxy, but we're already out here, already exploring, already dying. Her voice strengthened. We didn't ask for pirates to attack us. We didn't ask to be victims, but we have the right to defend ourselves, to know what dangers exist beyond our world. The council murmured among themselves. Bate continued. I won't lie to you about humanity. We have a violent history, wars and conflicts that shame us, but we've also learned. We've built peace among ourselves, united our world despite our differences. We're not perfect, but we're trying to be better. Silence followed her words. Finally, Drell spoke. Your honesty is refreshing. Most species seeking council membership emphasize only their achievements. He looked around the chamber. I propose a compromise. A small diplomatic mission will travel to Earth, observe without revealing themselves fully. If the humans demonstrate readiness, official contact will proceed. The vote carried with narrow margin. Talrus volunteered immediately to lead the Earth mission. Nessa and Rila joined him along with Communications Officer Boron, the diplomatic vessel. Harmony's light prepared for departure within 2 cycles. Bate insisted on returning to Earth despite her injuries. You'll need a human voice, she argued against medical objections. My people won't trust aliens arriving without explanation, but they'll listen to me. The journey to Earth's solar system took 4 cycles at diplomatic speeds. Bate used the time to teach the team about human culture and history. She shared music and art from her personal files, stories of human achievement and failure. The team gradually understood the complexity of human nature. Your people are contradictory, Boron observed one day, capable of great compassion and terrible cruelty, sometimes simultaneously. That's what makes us human, Bate replied simply. We're always struggling between our better and worse natures. The struggle itself defines us. Approaching Sol system, the team detected extensive human activity. Orbital stations circled multiple planets. Mining operations dotted the asteroid belt. Radio transmissions showed a thriving civilization. But no faster-than-light vessels appeared anywhere in the system. They're isolated, Rila noted sadly. They have no idea how vast the galaxy truly is. Harmony's light entered the outer system using stealth technology. The team observed while Bate provided context for what they saw. Earth itself appeared as a blue and green jewel third from the sun. Cities glowed across the night side, showing where billions of humans lived. It's beautiful, Nessa whispered. I understand why you fight so hard for home. Then the sensors detected another presence. A pirate scout ship hiding near the outer planets, the same fleet affiliation as the raiders who destroyed Pioneer's Hope. They were watching human activities, planning future attacks. We can't let them continue, Bate insisted urgently. More colony ships are being launched. My people have no idea they're being hunted. Talrus faced an impossible choice. Revealing their presence would violate the Council's observation mandate. But allowing pirates to operate meant more human deaths. Every moment of hesitation put innocent lives at risk. We use your ship's identification codes, Bate proposed. Approach Earth as a damaged colony vessel returning home. We warn them about the pirates while gradually introducing the idea of alien contact. It reduces the culture shock while addressing the immediate threat. The plan had merit. Rila modified Harmony's light to broadcast human transponder signals. They created a cover story about Pioneer's Hope limping home after the attack. Bate prepared to contact her world after years of believing she would never see home again. Earth Traffic Control, this is Colony Vessel Pioneer's Hope requesting emergency approach authorization. Bate's voice carried across the communication channels. We have critical information about hostile forces in the outer system. Repeat, we are not alone out here. The response came within seconds, confusion and alarm evident in the traffic controller's voice. Pioneer's Hope, you're not on our active mission registry. Identify yourself immediately. Military vessels are being scrambled to your location. Bate took a deep breath. My name is Bate. I'm the last survivor of Colony Mission 773. We were attacked. Everyone else died, but I was rescued. She paused. Rescued by people who aren't human. Silence followed her words. Then humanity learned the truth. Earth's response erupted across every communication channel simultaneously. News networks broadcast the revelation worldwide. Government officials scrambled emergency meetings while military forces converged on Harmony's Light's position. Humanity discovered in one stunning moment that they were not alone in the universe. Taurus made his decision quickly. Drop stealth protocols, let them see us. The diplomatic vessel shimmered into visibility on human sensors. Dozens of Earth military ships surrounded them with weapons ready but holding fire. The tension stretched across the void like a physical force. This is Commander Taurus of the Galactic Council Diplomatic Corps, he transmitted on all frequencies. We come in peace. We rescued your colonist Bate from pirates who attacked her vessel. We bring warning of threats to your species and an offer of alliance. The human military commander's voice carried cautious authority. Stand by for boarding. Any hostile action will be met with force. We're sending representatives to meet you. Within hours, a human delegation arrived at Harmony's Light. Men and women from Earth's major nations assembled in the diplomatic vessel's conference chamber. Their faces showed wonder and fear in equal measure. Bate's presence helped bridge the immediate distrust. These people saved my life, she told her fellow humans. 37 members died on Pioneer's Hope. I'm only here because they risked their own lives for a species they'd never encountered before. A human diplomat named Robert addressed Taurus directly. You say you come with warnings, explain. Taurus presented all the evidence, recordings of the pirate attack, testimony from captured raiders, proof of a criminal network targeting human colony ships. The delegation watched in growing horror as they realized their expansion into space had made them prey. How many of our ships have they destroyed? Robert demanded. We don't know, Taurus admitted honestly. The pirates we captured confessed to 3 confirmed attacks on human vessels, but their operations span decades. There may be more. A female delegate stood abruptly. And you're telling us this now, after how many of our people died alone in the dark? We didn't know humans existed until 4 cycles ago, Nessa interjected gently. Your civilization developed in isolation, no contact with galactic society until Bate's ship was attacked. We came as soon as we learned of your existence and the threat you faced. The humans caucused privately for over an hour. Taurus waited patiently while they debated. Through the viewports, he could see Earth hanging in space. A world full of beings who had just learned their universe was far larger and more dangerous than they imagined. Robert returned with the delegation's decision. We want to hear your offer, but understand we won't surrender Earth's sovereignty for protection. That's not what we're proposing, Taurus assured them. He explained the Galactic Council's structure, how member species maintained independence while cooperating for mutual benefit, trade agreements and technology sharing, protection against pirates and hostile forces, cultural exchange programs. What's the cost? Another human delegate asked suspiciously. Adherence to common laws regarding warfare and rights of sentient beings, Taurus replied. Participation in mutual defense when requested, gradual integration of your technology with galactic standards, he paused. And patience, you're new to this, mistakes will happen, we account for that. The humans surprised everyone by proposing innovations the Council had never considered. Their unique perspective on problems led to creative solutions. Robert suggested modifications to the anti-piracy patrol routes that would increase coverage. Efficiency. Another delegate proposed communication protocols that bridged language barriers more effectively. Your people think differently than most species we've encountered, Boron observed with fascination. Not better or worse, just different. That difference has value. Bate watched her fellow humans engage with alien representatives. Pride and hope warred with grief over her lost crew. They would have loved to see this, she said quietly to Nessa. All those people who died on Pioneer's Hope, they dreamed of the stars, of making contact with other civilizations. Tears streamed down her face. They should be here. They are, Nessa replied gently. Their sacrifice brought us to Earth. Their courage proved humanity worthy of our respect. Every person at this table honors their memory by being here. The formal alliance treaty took 3 days to negotiate. Earth agreed to provisional membership in the Galactic Council. They would receive basic defensive technology and training. Council forces would escort human colony ships. In return, Earth committed to gradually adopting common galactic laws and participating in mutual defense agreements. Bate accepted the position of Earth's first ambassador to the Council. I have to go back into space, she told Talris. I have to make sure no other human ship meets the fate of Pioneer's Hope. That's how I honor my crew. You'll have support, Talris promised. The entire Council stands behind humanity now. Joint operations began immediately. Human vessels joined Armada patrols hunting the remaining pirate networks. The raiders who had terrorized the sector found themselves facing coordinated military response. Within 2 cycles, the criminal organizations were dismantled. Crawl and his associates faced trial for crimes against multiple species. Bate testified at the tribunal. Her words carried weight as the sole survivor who could speak for the murdered colonists. The pirates received maximum sentences. Justice served for all their victims. Earth's integration into galactic civilization proceeded gradually. Human creativity and determination impressed other species. Their emotional capacity and fierce protectiveness of innocent beings made them natural peacekeepers. Within a cycle, human representatives served on council committees, their voices respected for unique perspectives. Talris stood on Earth's surface for the first time, the planet's. Natural beauty overwhelmed him. He understood completely why humans fought so desperately to protect their home. Looking up at the stars, he reflected on how one damaged ship had changed everything. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had arrived not as conquerors or victims, but as partners. Their courage and compassion enriched galactic civilization. Other species learned from human resilience, from their capacity to find hope even in darkness. A memorial station was built at the coordinates where Pioneer's Hope had been destroyed. The names of all 37 crew members were inscribed on crystal panels that caught the light of distant stars. Representatives from dozens of species attended the dedication ceremony. Bate placed the last panel herself. They wanted to reach for the stars, she said to the assembled crowd. They wanted to build something new and wonderful. They succeeded, just not in the way they expected. She looked at the diverse gathering, humans and aliens standing together. This alliance, this friendship between species, this is their legacy, this is what they died for. The memorial became a symbol of unity, a reminder that courage and sacrifice could bridge any divide. Human colony ships now traveled with confidence, protected by allies who had become friends. The dream of Pioneer's Hope lived on in every human who reached for the stars knowing they no longer traveled alone. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, new voices joined the ancient songs of the galaxy, human voices adding their unique harmony to the cosmic chorus. The universe was richer for their presence.